Well, after repeated warnings over the weekend from Israel to Iran, keep around, you're going to find out. Guess what happened? They found out.
No. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
They got the shit bombed out of them.
Hold up.
Their leadership killed.
Wait a minute.
And then calls Israel and says, no mas.
Damn!
I'm Jasper Gonzo, and this, after crying uncle, then tapping out.
That is true!
Israel says, now who's your daddy?
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
But it's what's next. What's up, everyone? Jasper Gonzo, what's next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Monday. And of course, I do have a tendency to say, new day, new week, and new bullshit. Well, this bullshit is not bullshit at all. It was real, and it went down, and it went down hard. After repeated warnings to Iran from Israel, keep on around, dude, and you're going to find out. Guess what happened? They found out. They found out the hard way. Precise targeting by Israeli bombs wiped out their leadership, and then just like that, they called Israel and they called Trump and said, no mas. My, oh my. This, coming from Breitbart. Iran cries uncle wants to end Israeli attacks, negotiates with Trump. Gee, Iran, didn't you say it was going so well? Anyway, Iran has sent messages to both Israel and the United States that it wants to end the war and to negotiate with President Donald Trump and could give up its nuclear enrichment program to save the Iranian regime. Yes, that same Iranian regime that's collapsing as we speak. Reports of Iran's eagerness to end the fight came as Israeli fighters attacked regime institutions in the capital city of Tehran, including a state broadcaster, after achieving total dominance of Iranian airspace, per the Wall Street Journal. Iran has been urgently signaling that it seeks to end hostilities and resumption of talks over its nuclear program, sending messages to both Israel and the U.S. via Arab intermediaries, Middle Eastern, and European officials. In the midst of a ferocious Israeli air campaign, Tehran told its Arab officials that it will be open to returning to the negotiating table as long as the U.S. doesn't join in. Iran also passed messages to Israel saying that it's in the interest of both sides to keep the violence contained. You decide to pick on Israel first. Israel retaliated, but you want to keep it contained. Got it. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the attacks will continue until Iran's nuclear program and ballistic missiles are destroyed, and he has shown no indication he's ready to stop. He's also said the regime change isn't a goal, but it could be a result given the Iranian leadership's weakness. Israel is unlikely to relent until it has destroyed most or all of Iran's ballistic missile launchers, which have continued to fire barrages at Israeli civilians, usually at night. It may also continue fighting to destroy much of Iran's remaining nuclear facilities as possible. It's also unclear whether Iran has explicitly offered to end the nuclear enrichment program as the U.S. has demanded before the war. The journal suggested that Iran has not conceded that point, but wants the war to end. President Trump had earlier said he wants to keep the U.S. out of the war, but the U.S. has also been moving military assets into position to assist Israel if needed. Speaking next to a Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, you know, that clown boy, yeah, Canada. Don't you just love him? Gee, he's better than Trudeau, isn't he? On Monday at the G7 summit in Kananaskis, Alberta, Canada, Trump confirmed that he had received Iran's messages about wanting to end the war. Quote, they like to talk, but they should have done that before, Trump said, responding to the questions from reporters. They had 60 days. They had 60 days, and on the 61st day, I said, we don't have a deal. They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties. And I said, Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk immediately before it's too late. Facts. Trump gave him 60 days. Told him 61 days ago, well, at the time when this thing went down, said, you got to come to the table. You got to talk. You got to come to the table. Your nuclear enrichment programs are on the table. Nothing is left off the table. You got to talk. Iran let 60 days go by, and on the 61st day, yeah, Trump said, yeah, there's not going to be a deal. And they started picking on Israel. He started picking on Israel, and Israel said, yeah, you know what? We don't need the U.S. to back us. We can back ourselves. We can defend ourselves. We can defend the sovereignty in our country. They bombed the shit out of them. Precise targeting points of their Iranian leadership, wiped them out. And of course, now Iran's going, yeah, I think we need to negotiate again. I think we need to have open talks again. I think we need to, Talk some more. What do you think, Israel? Israel's like, yeah, been there, done that. We've seen this ploy before. And so Trump is very leery of this whole situation, as is Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu. But Israel knows that if they don't adhere to it, if they don't hold their end of the bargain, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get their shit bombed again, over and over again. And Israel makes it very clear that until their nuclear programs have been wiped out, their facilities have been wiped off the planet, they're not going to stop. And the U.S. is like, we're not jumping into this. We're not getting involved. But just in case Iran gets any ideas, we're going to move certain assets into place just to get Israel's back. Just saying. To me, I don't like this at all, because U.S. troops could be in danger here. Remember, they are strategically placed around Israel. And of course, they could be inadvertently be pulled into this. Hopefully it's legit. And pray for the U.S. soldiers that are over there currently, and the Israeli soldiers as well. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.